Hey there YouTube, welcome back to the stream. I've just been streaming, it's a Saturday, I felt like it. Mostly wanted to get into this, figure out how to do it, but we're playing a little bit of Battlefleet Gothic, just take a quick break from Civilization. I kind of thought, I'd probably need to. Hold on a second actually, I've got the stream running in the background, I forgot to turn the sound back off, so. Alright. There we go. Get rid of that commercial for Battlefield. Battlefleet is a different game, obviously. But let's go ahead. Let's get into this. What should we try here? I think we're going to go ahead and try ourselves a little bit of Chaos. I haven't played Chaos in a little while. We haven't got up to level 8, so we're going to level this up to 8 on stream. Maybe not all the way up to 8, but it's up to 7 at least, I think. It'll depend on how close we are, I guess, and how I'm feeling. But yeah, Chaos, it's a pretty interesting fleet. The way we've gone here is a pretty interesting direction. I think that people will not like it, but it's a bit different than your typical Chaos fleet in that it tries to get up close and personal to my opponents. A lot of them, I think, try and be a bit standoffish way off in the distance there, but not this one. This one's all about getting in with slaughters, dealing damage, close range. This game does have horrific load times, all things considered, but well. Alright, so, yeah, one of our light cruisers is lost on the warp, but that's okay. Everything else is pretty much fine. So let's go ahead and actually just change up the default settings for these guys. We want them... I didn't know that this was a thing until recently, but... Alright, set those to automate that. And that's all we really need to care about right now, I think. Other things we usually set up on a per-game basis. Oh wow, we got a bunch of people watching this somehow. Welcome to chat. We're going to go ahead and search this, but yeah, Chaos, it's a good fleet. It's set up that I think that can work in good ways. We're going, in case you didn't notice, Tzeentch with a bunch of Slaanesh backing up, and we're going to be going as well with a bunch of, a little bit more Tzeentch as we get into the Battlecruiser and Battleship. Those are going to be Tzeentch as well. And they're going to be supporting and covering for my Slaughters and maybe Hellbringers that are going to be a little bit more support ranged with the Marcus Slaanesh. The really cool thing about this is that you can really deal some good damage by just pounding people with your ship's close range while they're blinded. And they can't use special orders, they can't potentially tag you, maybe. I need to adjust the volume. I can't hear the game volume right now, so that's kind of a problem. 500-point cruiser clash. Alright, so I'm wondering if I can check that here. We're up against another Chaos player. That's kind of funny. So, yeah, now let's go ahead and pop up with whatever we can get here. There's a little bit of sound coming through, actually. Alright, so we can get our sticks and we can get our 2 slaughters, so... Might be that we're up against somebody who's going like Nurgle with a much more close-range fleet or something like that. Well... Stream looks like it's running pretty laggy, actually. Wondering if that's going to be something I have to fix. I was playing Civilization 6 earlier. And it seemed to be running a little bit smoother than this, so maybe after this match I will go in and check that, see if there's something to fiddle with. Wow, this could not be more janky. Okay, we're up against, it looks like one ship, but who knows what it actually is. Alright, so we don't want to do any special orders with this guy yet, because we'll probably end up having to pop that, but we can automate repair, we can automate a couple of these things. And these guys, on the other hand, we can fully automate pretty much. Now, the Auger Disruptors are great for this fleet because we get in there, we get in close range, and if he doesn't get time to probe us, we can do some pretty hilarious stuff there. We just get the gas cloud, we basically screw with him a little bit with that. Alright, we're going to want to pop a Chaos Fighter Squadron right away here. I'm guessing there's just not that many Battlefleet Gothic streams, so people are kind of interested in seeing one, kind of popping in, giving it a check. Now, while there are definitely, I feel, people who are better at this game than me, I am actually probably one of the, just all in all, slightly better players. So we'll try and make this be a little bit educational as well. This is a slightly cheesy list, but not at this point value. One of the reasons why this is so good right now is that Tau have trouble with it. but it's also good against a lot of other people. Like, I'd say orcs have a relatively easy time with it. Alright. So we're just dodging out of the way of that beacon there. I hate those things. Just being able to fling it across the map like this is... The fact that you have to sort of like go in very broad sweep across to avoid it is really annoying, but... Alright, a little bit more people hopping into the stream here. Hello, hello, hello. Kind of wondering what my opponent could have here, because it's difficult to tell what is going where based on just the speeds that they're going. But it kind of looks like there's some other ones that are a little bit faster over here and then a little bit slower over there, so it might be two Hellbringers. Don't see any carrier capacity, so it's probably the lance carrying ones. But let's go ahead and get this guy to sort of go over here. We want the other ships to catch up a bit. Looks like the thing's smoothed out a bit, so it's probably okay. Alright, so we could drop a recon beacon up here. I don't... What? Oh, that was mine, right. I wasn't even paying attention to the fact that that had been automated. Okay. Well... Those do indeed seem to be Hellbringers. Alright, so let's get our ships in closer. Oh, shit. Alright, there we go. Just gotta wait a little bit longer and then pop another one of these. Alright. And you can sort of see what's going on here. Like, it's very, very hard for my opponent to fight back at this moment. There we go. Nope, and we need to cancel. And I think my opponent's actually trying to jump into the warp already, which is kind of funny to me. Alright, so that worked out really well for us. This is kind of an interesting strat that makes it really hard, but if he tanked it through the first minute, which he sort of did really, you know, after that you can start catching up pretty quickly. Kind of wondering what his ships are based around. It's kind of looking like it's who knows what, but my ships aren't fully upgraded either, though, but yeah, he got everything out safely. That's sort of the thing there. It's not the highest damage per second ship fleet here that I'm using. So you get in close, you basically don't take any damage because you're doing something cheap. He could have had a few moments where he could have dropped a recon beacon on my ships, in which case my entire strategy sort of falls apart. But if you're sort of on top of things, it works out okay. But yeah, this is a really fun sort of chaos strategy because it's in close, it's like a brawler list that doesn't just brawl in the direct sort of way that you'd usually do that with. Give it a try. This one's really, really fun, actually. Oh yeah, we're a long way off from 7. I don't think it's actually based on the renown, though. I think it's based on wins. Okay. Yeah, I'm still not sure what exactly caused all of my accounts, or my admirals, to get deleted, but, you know, they did. If there was anything that I was doing, like, wrong or whatever, then they didn't explain what that is to me. Alright. Yeah, you do need the camo upgrade on there, and you also do need these improvements to advanced cogitator linkages and stuff like that. But it would be kind of nice if I also had the improved shields. That way it's much less likely that an enemy ship is going to be able to recon beacon me. So yeah, we're going to give this another search here. That battle was pretty unsatisfying because my opponent just sort of immediately quit. But that is sort of the way things are with this. I would consider changing it up a little bit, but I really do like this style of fleet. The other one that I've done is Nurgle, of course. Everyone's probably done like a slaughter with Nurgle fleet. The only problem is that like this is the only ship that works for Chaos, in my opinion. Just because if you go for the longer range ships with the macros, like long range macros already doesn't make a lot of sense. But it also doesn't make a whole ton of sense for you to use the macro ships that are slower for a purpose of going long range. Oh, this is a convoy. Shit, I hate convoy missions. I know a lot of people actually don't like the convoy ones in particular. We're up against a Tau player. The Tau player has got a level 7 or 8. I think it's level 7. Alright, so the problem is we have to keep our ships together to a certain extent. And that's going to be pretty tricky against the Tau. But our slaughters should be able to run back and forth across the map pretty effectively against them. And we've got anti-ordnance defense thanks to the sticks. The sticks can shoot down probably all the fighters from a custodian, and just keep our ships safe while that's is going on. But it's pretty tricky. Like the problem is convoy defense. I need to have my ships clustered around my carriers. If I just use a Hellbringer, it could get overwhelmed pretty easily. So you do kind of need a bigger carrier like a Styx, or you need like 4 carrier bays somehow else. Like you could have 2 Hellbringers to each side, I guess, if you had 4 of them, but I don't. I can't even remember what the cruiser tier carrier is, but look at those colors. Alright. This is one of those matches where I could just focus on destroying his ships, though, instead of actually doing the instead of actually bothering with the actual other stuff. But let's figure out how this is going to go. I'm glad they got rid of the stealth alloy on the fighters, or on the transports rather. Like, that was just so bullshit on these sort of missions. It was already pretty bad. Alright. Actually, we want to take this ship in particular. Get rid of that. Got someone trying to talk to me on Steam, but I'm going to ignore him. Alright, so now, I don't really need to have like the Slanesh ability over here, Slanesh's Promise on automated, but it's sometimes useful. I mean, you end up wasting a lot of them against escorts, though, if you're up against the Tau. Okay. Let's turn this on. So there's a couple different ways that this could go, but realistically, it's going to be tricky for me to figure out exactly how to beat Tau fleets. I have a real hard time doing... well, the one thing I have going for me, really, is that I'm much, much faster than his ships. So... Massive Rick, come on. You can go ahead and hit the ready button. It takes longer when you're on the defender side of this because you have to set up all your little stupid transports. It does take quite a while. Especially if you're trying to like make sure that each one of them has its own like individual special orders, or you're putting them all far apart from each other, which is sometimes a good idea. I've had some games where I had like all of the transports that I was fighting up against or that I was using get clustered together, and then you forget your opponent has Nova cannons, and just all of your transports get blown up in one volley. Those are brutal moments. Alright. So I think that there's going to be like a couple transports over there. So we're going to go ahead and send one slaughter over there, and we're going to send the squadron over towards the other ships. Over here. Now, this will start firing torpedoes at us once we get over there, the rest of their fleet, but that's fine. Then we should be able to speed it back towards our fleet, like fast enough that it's pretty okay. But this means I just have to slip in and kill 2 transports from over here, unless these are not actually transports. They could just be escorts trying to dupe me, which would suck, but, you know. It's not many of their escorts that I'm truly afraid of. Yeah, those are wardens. Are they all wardens? Oh no, there's just some invisible ships over here. Fantastic.
We have sighted an enemy ship.
Alright.
Setting course. We come for your souls.
Okay, is there any transports over here? There are not. Okay.
We're unstoppable.
So we're gonna get out of here.
Tremble, for chaos
And like I said, we're faster than them, so...
command me.
Oh, we're gonna probably lose the ship regardless, though.
Family.
I'm not sure what got that last little bit of damage off against us, but something did.
Cruising speed set.
Okay.
Just show us something to kill.
Brute War Spheres.
Chaos comes. We have sighted an enemy ship.
Lightning Strikes. Okay, so I think they're all probably behind these,
Repair my ship or else. We are unstoppable.
Alright.
For the ruinous power.
Let's try and move our way through here. Oh, shit.
We come for your souls. Command me.
It's a lot of fires on that, that one ship there.
Powers.
Alright. Thankfully, we are braced for impact, so
Follow your command.
that helps.
For now. Engines.
Don't know what my opponent is doing here, but whatever.
Just show us something to kill.
I think we're just getting BM'd here in a certain sense. Alright.
Command me. Return to normal function. Moving to those coordinates.
Alright, let's pop that.
Enemy transport annihilated. Tremble, for chaos comes. For the dark gods,
So that ship is pretty much dead.
we are unstoppable. For the dark gods,
Just got a couple transports left. And we should be able to finish this guy off pretty quickly here.
your orders. Moving to those coordinates.
Alright.
Let the galaxy burn.
And yeah, this is going to be
Moving to those coordinates.
plenty enough of damage from those slaughters and their lances. There we go. Gives that a bit of a pop. Oh. Battlefleet Gothic and Chaos. Love my Chaos so long, but the cruisers ain't really a fleet backbone to me. That's why you don't bring Crude Spheres. Yes, Kismaki, that is indeed why you don't bring Crude Spheres. There's a lot of reasons why you don't take those things, honestly, but, you know, one of the nice things about Chaos Cruisers is that their damage per second is actually quite high. The main problem is that they don't necessarily have that front armor durability, and they don't have ordnance, which can really hurt them. But the fact that they've got the ability to deal so much damage at macro range is really an anomaly, because you'd expect them to be like all about the carriers, because that's sort of where they are in most of the places. But they can do really dirty tricks up close to make it so that their high damage per second is really highlighted, and their sort of slightly lower defenses don't really hurt them that badly. So this fleet really highlights that, I think, because it's all about getting up close and personal and using those macro batteries. We've got, as you can see, the armor-piercing ammunition, which helps out quite a bit, going flank to flank against a lot of things. We're going to continue along with our upgrades here, too. Now, I'm not 100% sure what I want to be getting sort of next. Something like Chaos Space Marines could potentially be pretty good, but things like improved auger array are also important in fleets like this. Things like emission dissipators are very important in fleets like this. They don't really do anything until you've got multiple ships with it, so it could potentially just be a better idea to get like the improved shields for now, and then switch it over once multiple ships get that upgrade. Going to continue upgrading our possessed gunners as well. These ships, a lot of guns. You know, a lot of them are more support depending on what you get. I think the Slaughter is the one exception to that, which is why I like it so much. But yeah, no, if we were to look at the other options, I mean, the Carnage over here is just, it's a long-range gunship. You sort of keep it at distance, and it's, a lot of people don't like it because of that, and me included. Its damage per second isn't great either. It's pretty okay just because of the sheer number of attacks, and the range is okay, but, I mean, it's not really good. It's for long resistance poking, and for, like, the Slaughter is so good at shorter ranges. But the Murder, yeah, I don't know if I really like the Murder either, because it misses out those top turrets for that Heavy Prowlance. The Heavy Prowlance, again, very, very long range. Not really my thing, because it's 2 damage per second from really long range. It's pretty poor. And then you've got the Devastation, which is just a carrier. So yeah, I agree with you. They're sort of more support-based. So I usually go for ones that are the exception to that, and that's why I ended up with this fleet composition. But yeah, no. Carnage against Eldar. The reason that I actually prefer the Slaughter against Eldar is because the Slaughter can catch up to Eldar if it's upgraded correctly and when it's later levels. I'm not going to be catching up to them very easily with the Slaughters that I've got here, but back when they were really, really popular, the Slaughter was what I would use because they could chase down a Void Stalker, and the Void Stalker would be trying to run away, and these ships not only could catch up, like a Hellbringer Mark II can also keep up with the Eldar pretty well, but once it gets there, it doesn't really have the guns to do anything about it. The Slaughter does, so it does sort of work a little bit better in that sense. And the reason that it was harder back then to deal with Eldar is because they had that huge burst damage, but also because Eldar were a little bit more slippery, in my opinion. But yeah, Chaos Fleets are pretty fast. All right, we're an Assassination Attacker. I've never been very good at these ones. In all honesty, I'm pretty terrible at Assassination Attackers. We're up against, as well, Space Marines. This is problematic for a couple of reasons, but we're probably going to have to try and assassinate a Battle Barge, which is never really... that's not fun, let's just put it that way. The Battle Barge is definitely the toughest ship in the game. So actually killing it, like even if my ships are just sitting there attacking it, while he's warping out, he's probably going to be able to warp out before I can actually kill him. So that's good. Yep, it's a Battle Barge. Okay, I don't see... Is that Chapter Master, or is that... I think that's... I don't think that was Chapter Master on there, but I can't really remember the markings all that well, in all honesty. Going to probably use the Idolator just as a sacrificial thing. One of the things about Slaanesh is that they don't really work that well against Space Marines. It's a bit unfortunate, but... Alright, let's get all you guys and just do up this one, this one, and this one. And you guys are going to need Brace for Impact, because we're going to be getting in and mixing it up with Space Marines, which is always a risky thing to do. Alright. Here's the Space Marines right there. Alright, I guess we're not doing anything sacrificial with these guys. Okay. Actually, we're going to have the assault boats automated. There's a chance that we might cancel a warp or something like that. Crap. Alright. So this is going to suck for a lot of reasons, but... Oh, we took out a bunch of those torpedoes. I think he just dropped like all 3 of them on the exact same spot, or 2 of them it looks like he has. But there's a mine there as well, unfortunately. Everything about this sucks. Alright. Come on. We want to get in range, cancel the Battle Barge. Doing that, let's go ahead and do this. Shit. Alright, we lost our bridge on this ship here. Alright, we need to try and take out the generators for this guy. It is Chapter Master? Okay. So this is causing quite the cluster truck, but let's go ahead and pop that there. Now one of my ships is about to go Nova here. Hopefully it'll go Nova, that's what we're going to hope for. Yep. Nope. Not Nova, but... Alright. get you guys over here.
Break them in mind and body.
Alright. Well, we're dealing a little bit of damage to this asshole. I should actually be using regular fighters here, or regular bombers, I mean. Alright.
Your orders.
Let's go set this one to 3,000 range.
Your orders.
I mean, we're gonna have some trouble here at this point in time. We're down a ship, which is pretty bad as it is, but I'm gonna do one boarding here.
Command me.
See if we can take out the generators. Because taking out the generators is pretty important in these sort of situations. Gonna do a bit of a ram here. Gonna knock out the special orders. Alright, so we're speeding off into the void there, but... Ooh, I think we managed to dodge most of that. Alright.
Ready internally. Chaos escort destroyed.
Well, it's just an escort. That's not really that big a deal.
Just show us something to kill. Setting course.
Alright, we need to set this down to 3,000 range. Oh, crap.
Is gone. Brace
Alright.
for the dark gods.
Yeah, my opponent's gonna get away there. That's what I'm saying about those battle barges. Yeah, no. The problem with those guys is that in Assassination, the battle barge is so tough that you can't actually kill it. I've had games where it's just basically being pounded on by absolutely everything. It just pops warp, and you can't stop it. Like, there's nothing you can do to stop it, really, unless you've saved up and got your ship close enough that it can board. But a lot of the time they can escape before you can even board it successfully, so that's just one of those ones that's kind of sucked, but yeah, no, it's fine, though. It's inversely, however, if you're playing as the Space Marines, it's literally impossible to beat Chaos if you're Assassination Attacker, because they're going to be able to get, like, their stupid little tiny ship, and just run it to the corner of the map on, like, the far side. Like, you'll go chase them over towards wherever, and they'll just run it somewhere else, and then they'll warp it out, and you'll be chasing them for a few minutes and get absolutely nothing done. It's really stupid. Some of the special missions in this game are just sort of poorly thought out in some senses, in terms of the balance of them, because, like, certain factions really hard counter other ones in Assassination. Having the ships in auto attack, it might have, but I tend not to like having them on auto attack just so I can fire from both broadsides. It's hard to do in real time, though. Alright. Not much else here, just crew. We're getting pretty close to that 7 there, Admiral experience. But, yeah, I think that one of the things that helps is actually going Nurgle against Space Marines, because that thing ignores shields and ignores armor. So it's just a constant tick of damage. It's just 3 damage, though, so it doesn't necessarily kill a battle barge that quickly, though. Slaanesh actually probably was a bit better there, because canceling the lock-on target stopped a lot of the damage that he could have done, because those battle barges on lock-on target can get criticals, I think something like 100% of the time almost, I think. Not actually 100% of the time, but I think their critical chance is like 38%, and they've got 3 shots, so it's close to a cumulative 100% between the 3 shots. So it's really good, battle barge with the lock-on target. Honestly, I think that Brace for Impact might have done him a little bit better, but I was using lances anyway. Well, actually, no, their bonus does apply against lances, so it would have stopped a ton of damage. 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. Yeah. Alright, it's taking us a little bit longer to get a match here, but looks like might have to wait a little bit before we get anything there. So, yeah, I think that part of what makes this matchup bad as well is that Slaanesh doesn't really cause Space Marines to panic if you destroy them, or if they get down to 30% or whatever. They can still just operate just fine. You get a planet killer? No, you don't actually get to use the planet killer for your battleship. What you get is... I can't remember the names of them. It's like... The Despoiler is one option, and the... I can't remember the name of the other one, but one of them is a carrier, and the other one is basically a gunship style one. It's a little bit like what the Imperial Navy gets. Neither of them are really my favorite because they're a lot slower than their standard one. It's the only tier where they get a cruiser-like ship that has torpedoes rather than just their uninstalled. Yeah. To be fair, I was never a big fan of the Planet Killer in the tabletop either because it's not really a good ship per se. It's designed for like just sort of being impressive and being kind of cool, but it was never really designed to be actually Desolator. Thank you. I'm terrible with names. I play this game a lot and don't remember the names of like any ships at all. Yeah, Space Hulk. Well, yeah, the Space Hulk I think is something that should end up in the game at some point because it's just too hilarious to not have it in the game. But it would probably be a lot like the Kroot War Sphere. It would probably be trash. It would probably be just as trash as it. It would probably be a lot more durable, but probably have even less guns somehow. And the Kroot War Sphere is already like pretty inexpensive. I don't know how you would make something that's sort of the similar thing and make it cost as much as a Space Hulk would, because those things are pretty expensive. Alright. I wasn't paying attention. What the hell am I doing? I think I'm up against a Tau fleet that has more points than I do, so that'll be fun. Alright, so the Hellbringer Mark II, we can actually just keep the Hellbringer Mark II like way to the sort of rear once we get closer. Or we could bring it in close and have it do the exact same thing as the rest of my ships. So, let's go ahead and do this. Now, we were going to probably want our ships to be close range against Tau, because they just will out-ordnance us. Otherwise, they might not actually, but that's pretty close to guaranteed to be the case. And the other thing we have to worry about, like, right now, it's really popular and powerful. Has now been buffed to 188 speed. Oh, okay. 188 speed is actually pretty good if the Desolator's got that now. The thing I don't like about it as well, though, is that, like, one set of torpedoes is just kind of really out of place. And I guess if it's got that good speed, though, it's worth taking in some senses. So I'll give it a try. Go through the Taus and yeah, that's basically how you want to deal with. Well, they're not actually slow on rotation. Pretty much every speed in the game, or every ship in the game, has a pretty similar rotation speed, and they've all got the ability to hit the high energy turn, except for a few, like the Custodian, for example. So there are Tau ships that could work against. The main problem I'm going to have is if they've gone watercast. The reason that I don't like fighting against watercast and why I use watercast is because they're kind of broken right now. Like, it's kind of stupid just being able to take... Yeah, overall, they are slow. While they're slow, they have decent maneuverability, but yeah, the reason I don't like going against watercast is that sort of ability to just spam out tons and tons and tons of escorts every short period of time that are really, really strong. The Nixar Dao is a really, really strong weapon. Did he spot me? I'm guessing he spotted me. Yeah, so...
Just show us something to kill.
Oh, he's right there. Shit.
Get that damage repaired at once.
Alright. Well, he's not aircast, so that's good.
Just follow your command for now.
I think he actually missed that one.
Command me.
Alright, we're out of there. Let's go ahead and drop that.
For the ruinous powers. Your orders.
I can't actually put out fighters fast enough to deal with this bullshit. It's pretty crazy.
For the dark gods.
Alright, so let's go ahead and push through here.
Command me.
Alright. Now that we're past, we should be actually relatively okay. Oh, shit.
Show us something to kill. Command me.
Let's get some damage done this way. Sometimes you just got to do things in a slightly different fashion than you might normally do. Oh, he's warped out with that one. Alright, kind of surprised he warped out there. Like, his ships probably could have done okay, in all honesty. Alright, my ships should be stealthed at this point in time. Just want to try and shoot down a couple of these torpedoes here, but this is probably going to destroy this ship. Yeah, turrets do nothing in this game. Oh, no, we got one of them. Alright. So that basically has to sit in there, because if they try and leave, then they're kind of in trouble, but... Let's get these guys out of these auger probes towards these little shits here. I think he's running into a mine? Honorable suicide, I guess. Alright, so we're going to get these guys sort of closer to my command ship. Watercast, stealth, alloy, escort, spam. They don't need the stealth alloy spam. They're actually better, in my opinion, if they've got the turrets. And... yeah, he was trying to do honorable suicide. But yeah, the Niksar Dao, I think, actually works best with all the turret upgrades, because they'll be able to just immediately crush everything that gets within the radius of like 12 of them or whatever, because the damage stacks. I don't know why they let that damage stack and not like the damage from Nurgle. That's tough for escort, yeah. Oh, this is just a messenger. I thought he was firing more torpedoes. He's just gonna ram into my ship with honorable suicide. Alright, perfect. That was weird. Like, he could have probably destroyed another one of my ships. Or one of my ships, actually. None of my ships got destroyed there, but... like, he could have probably blown that up and gotten a bit of renown for that. And he possibly even could have, like, won if he held out long enough. But we did get some really good rams at some good angles against him, so... he was taking way, way more damage than I was in the end, I guess. I don't know. Why do people seem to take stealth alloy so much? All it really does is make it so I can't really spam like ordnance from long distances, but I still can. Like, there's no reason I can't. I can just fire off auger probes until I find something. And once that's done and like the auger probe's not there, people really like the stealth alloy. I just don't think it's that useful. Like, I've been ambushed by it a bunch of times, but realistically, they could have also just walked up to me, and I probably would have been just as inattentive because I'm an idiot. But, you know. That's my rant about the stealth alloy. It's just, I don't know. I think it helps in the sense that, like, this game does have way too much just flinging torpedoes from all the way across the map for its own good. I don't think that's a particularly fun thing. Oh, that have that. Yeah, you know, I think that is probably one of the ridiculous things that can happen. I'm not really a big fan of that happening either. Yeah, that's probably one of those things that the combination is just too obnoxious, and I hope they fix. As well, I think that the fact that it's the Niksar Daos that they get is kind of obnoxious as well, because if you were to compare it to the Empire, they get the Cobra, which is a really crappy ship. The Niksar Dao is just fantastic. 200 health, 200 shield, and the ability to deal area effect damage is just ridiculously good for a tiny little escort. Cobras don't have anything that can match that. It's kind of, alright, breakthrough attacker. My fleet's actually not very well designed for breakthrough attacker missions here. We're up against Kissing Pew Pew Lord. That's a fantastic name. Alright, good times. Let's see if we can break through here. We're just taking the same ships over and over again because we're ultimately trying to level up our fleet, but we're going to actually take our carrier for this one. The reason being that we have got a spare carrier, but also it's pretty okay for breakthroughs. You can sort of park your ships at 12,000 range and they'll automatically blow up the defense platforms. And you can just sort of go through them slowly one by one and force your opponent to come to you. I think that that's pretty much how you want to play that if at all possible. So, hopefully this will work out okay. I mean, to be fair, on the Niksar Dao Death Ball, sometimes they just hide in the corner, and if you're a slow fleet that has to go all the way across the map, all the way, it takes like enough time that they'll usually get in one full spawn in before that happens. So that's another like 10 ships that they've got. And if they do that they'll probably, by the time you've broken through all of that first line of Niksar Dows, they'll probably have a second one. So even if they're not using stealth alloys, it's still obnoxious as hell. But I guess it's less obnoxious. Alright. Let's go with going with these. I don't actually need this set up there. Gonna make bombers the default, and we don't actually want to have this brace for impact, so there we go. And yeah, we're just gonna chug forward and hope for the best. We don't need necessarily to use Tzeentch as badly here, but still want to keep it in our back pocket in case we need to use it. This is pretty like transparent though, like which direction I'm gonna be coming from. That was risky because if like, the game started, the ball that was going there, it would have randomly distributed it. That would have been fun. Alright, it's gonna put out some fighter waves just because chaos. Obviously you want to have that against chaos. Where's the sight radius circle? So this is the sight radius circle. I can be pretty much anywhere in that cloud then. And yeah, we'll just focus on destroying that one first. These guys are going to come around this way, it looks like. Okay. Fine by me. I don't really care. He'll probably want to wait until all his ships get here before he attacks me if he's going to, because it would be a really silly idea to attack with just whatever ship that one is. Because he'll just get absolutely shredded to pieces and then not do anything. I'll just sort of run back into the cloud, recharge all my shields, and then be fine. The one bug that's in this game is, like, I'm not necessarily... Oh, wow, okay. I'm never sure if, like, it's just a UI thing, but there's a lot of times where it feels like your stupid little carrier stuff is not working properly. Like, they'll say that they're supposed to be deploying their fighters, but they don't. Or it says they've deployed their haven't deployed their fighters, and they have, and all sorts of stuff like that. But alright, so we got one bomber wave heading towards that thing there. We've still got some lasers on this guy. Now you can actually be at 5,000 or so distance and be firing at these things, and that's pretty worthwhile. I'm gonna save these bombers. I'm gonna save them. Okay, so we want to get just within 6,000 range, which is pretty precise. They removed the bug. There used to be a bug that let slaughters upgrade both their lance and macro battery distances, which was really ridiculously funny. Shit. Okay, well that was an accident. But yeah, they got rid of that. If you upgrade the macro weapon distances, it doesn't upgrade the lance. Bit of a shame. I liked that bug. Alright. So we're going to go ahead and just move our ships up here. Now, where would he have parked his ships? He probably is sitting... Actually, no, he's up here. Okay. So we're going to actually engage and fight his fleet, rather than trying to destroy the defense platforms right now. Okay. I'm okay with this. So we're just going to get out of the range of that beacon, and then we're going to pop Favor, and then we're going to pop Auger Disruptors. Oh, crap. Things that they shouldn't have added to the game. Alright. Is this also Tzeentch? Yep, I think he's running Tzeentch as well. But fortunately he's just running away from me, so I can get a bit of a moment's respite here. Go back to the other strategy of getting around here and trying to kill the defense platforms, so... Alright, we want to destroy these guys' engines because he's acting in a really sort of kitey, annoying way with these ships. Does he just not have the ability to stealth these units? Oh, I accidentally revealed this guy here. There we go. Back to stealth. Alright. So just a few more seconds, then we can take out this defense platform. Oh, or we've got this on autocast, and that's a bad thing. Alright, let's get these off autocast, I guess. Oh no, they're going for the defense platform. Which is what we sort of want here. Alright, so we know where that is. Let's check out where... Alright. What we're going to do is probably pop that over there. And we're going to go ahead and just rush his fleet down.
Moving to those coordinates. We're unstoppable.
Okay.
Engines hot. We've sighted an enemy ship. Ready internally. For the ruinous powers.
Oh, shit.
Your orders. Tremble for chaos.
Get ready for another auger disruptor.
We'll follow your command. For now,
Let's get all of our ships down to 3K range, I think.
we're unstoppable. For the dark gods.
There we go.
For the dark
And then
gods.
even this ship has got one.
Bloodbath. Prepare my ship or else.
Alright, got one of their generators, which is nice. We can go ahead and brace these guys.
Command me. Moving to those coordinates. Ready internally.
Okay, this is going well. I managed to get some rams off, though.
Let the galaxy burn.
Ooh. Plasma oversurge. Alright.
Command me.
It's not ideal, but whatever. It happens.
Just
Where
show
can I-
us something to kill.
Go ahead and knock that out. There we go.
Setting course. Your orders.
And our ships are just much better at this close range fighting than his. Nope, no special orders for you. I'm kind of amazed that none of my ships have forced theirs into,
Gods.
like, none of their ships have mutinied so far. Oh, that's going to be a big explosion again, isn't it? Alright. No special orders for you.
Internally.
Maybe he can't mutiny while he's under that
We'll follow your
effect. I don't think that's true, though. Got his fighter screen back up just in the nick of time, but I don't think it's enough. There we go. Alright. A lot of people like the idea of just trying to use and manipulate vision from like long distance and make it so that your ships can't be seen from a long distance. Yeah, disruptor array. It is absolutely hilarious, the strategy, but it is probably a little bit broken, and I wish it would. I don't know. Like, there's a direct counter to this. It's you save your auger probes until you're in close quarters combat, and then as soon as someone loses their shields, you pop one on them. Yeah, couldn't sit and wait in that array. Yeah. Like, the counter to this is pretty simple, though. You just auger probe when you're in sort of close quarters combat instead of this sort of long distance one that people tend to use. Alright, no levels or anything like that. But, alright. Alright, yeah, I'm wondering... Oh, was that you? Am I getting stream sniped here already? I might be getting stream sniped. Oh, no. But yeah, I might be actually calling it quits here. We've gotten a pretty good set of games here. Didn't quite get to level 7, but I think that this was good. I'm new to streaming, so I just want to try it out. It's a little bit hard for me. I've got the screen sort of to my left, and it's hard to sort of play while also trying to look at chat. But yeah, no, this is been going pretty well. So check out my Twitter. I think it's like I'll be more professional and actually check for next time. But let's go ahead and check to see what the hell my stream or Twitter is. But I announce over ahead of time like where I'm going to be or when I'm going to be streaming. Twitter. All right. So who am I? Who am I? I don't know. All right. So it was you. Yeah, no, you put up a good fight there. That was a pretty good game there. But yeah, no, it's just Yukitsu Times, at Yukitsu Times. I'll be posting up when I'm streaming about an hour or so before I do it. Once I get more used to it and can schedule ahead of time a little bit better, I'll be putting up when I'm going to be streaming like a couple days in advance, and maybe we'll put up a stream schedule at some point in time. But for now, we're just doing things the way that we're doing. So go ahead and check out my Twitter account there, and yeah, so I'll announce next one out probably Saturday as well, and a couple other ones in between. But anyway, I hope you found this one enjoyable, and of course, as always, I hope to see you guys all next time.